each team. Mark Blythe from the Chelsea Foundation has worked tirelessly throughout the pandemic. We're nearly there.
Of all the great events that Wembley plays host to, the FA Cup final remains the most famous.
For Cup Final Day is a day apart. 200,000 people storm Wembley.
A representative from each team. Mark Blythe from the Chelsea Foundation has worked tirelessly throughout the past year to keep elderly fans connected.
And I think Leicester will win, Gary.
Oh, blimey. Ian, how do you see it going?
You know something? I feel that Chelsea with their big game coming. I feel it's a game that Chelsea, for me, are favourites in. For some reason, I get the feeling that Leicester could do it today. Chelsea, for me, are dangerous with Werner and that. I'm probably going to go for Leicester simply because they're the underdogs, and I kind of want Leicester to do it because they're owners. I love the owners. They're proper owners.
Leicester City against Chelsea, your commentators, Jermaine Genus and Guy Mowbray.
Thank you, Gary. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 140th FA Cup final. Chelsea's 15th, they've won 8. Leicester's 5th, with all 4 previous finals having been lost. They could become the first new name on the trophy since Wigan Athletic in 2013. The presentation party is led by His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge, President of the FA. He's accompanied by the FA's interim chairman, Peter McCormick. Sponsors Emirates, UK Divisional Vice President Richard Dewsbury, and the chairman of the FA Cup Challenge Committee, Steve Kerwood. He does have a link to a prominent figure in the match. He's the chief executive of Fleetwood Town, and he was when Jamie Vardy played for the club as recently as the 2011-12 season. All FA Cup finals take their place in history. Some become more famous than others, and this one, however the game takes shape, will be remembered for the day a significant crowd came back to Wembley. Tremendous ovation for both sets of players as they took to the field for the warm-up. It was unexpectedly emotional when the fans of Leicester and Chelsea welcomed their players onto the field. Before we take a final look at the lineups to start the game, the national anthem performed by Becky Hill. Another wonderful moment on a day that hopefully will be full of them. Let's take a look at the lineups then, and we'll start with Chelsea, for whom Kepa Arrizabalaga has played in every FA Cup tie this season. He continues in goal. The back three is as experienced as could be, with Thiago Silva 5 times a cup winner in France. N'Golo Kante has been past fit, whilst fellow Leicester old boy Ben Chilwell misses out. Marcos Alonso plays on the left, and it is an attacking trio of Hakim Ziyech and Mason Mount, supporting the spearhead striker, Timo Werner. Leicester have Schmeichel in goal, Casper's final chance, first chance of a medal that Dad Peter won 3 of. Johnny Evans is fit, vital to Brendan Rodgers' plans. He's called him the brain in our defensive line. What a moment for 19-year-old Luke Thomas, whose goal at Manchester United on Tuesday was outstanding. And with James Maddison not 100%, it's Jose Perez who's in behind Kelechi Iheanacho and Jamie Vardy, who's completing the set, playing in all 13 rounds, from preliminary rounds to the biggest day. Amongst the substitutes, a nice touch for Brendan Rodgers to put Wes Morgan on the bench. He's hardly played this season, he's been out with a back injury. He is still the Foxes club captain and main man. Brendan Rodgers has a good record in finals. He won 5 with Celtic. He won the Championship playoff final with Swansea here a decade ago. We will know all about the danger that N'Golo Kante presents to his side. The man who used to make Leicester tick now runs the show for Chelsea and has done for some time. Jamie Vardy is playing for Leicester for the 350th time in this game, 145 goals and counting. It's a wonderful sight. Only around 22,000, just under a quarter full, but it doesn't sound like that. It sounds full, and you won't have any need for any augmented sound effects this afternoon. The players on both sides take a knee and continue to send out the message around the world that there is no place for racial discrimination. It is Chelsea in blue against a deep red Leicester. The FA Cup final is underway.
It's been a long time coming, but it's finally here. The Euros starts 11th of June across the BBC.
You mentioned it, the quality of players that Gareth has at his disposal is unbelievable. You know, we didn't even talk about Reece James there. You know, could you play 3 at the back with Reece playing as he's playing today, with Trent a little bit further up the pitch? You talk about Mount, Foden, the quality of players. So much quality there. So it is going to be a headache for Gareth, but what a problem to have.
Speaking of the Euros, remember when a certain Mr. Lineker was doing a bit of dad dancing?
Beg your pardon?
I think that's what you call it anyway.
No, I do.
Goodness me. Look at the state
my
of that.
captain, Tony Adams. Look at my captain.
Oh, my word. I hope you were well paid for that, Lineker, were you?
No, look, I'm just doing what the rest
Look
of the
at
team
the
are doing.
movement.
I'm just playing my part in the squad, in the team.
Who's on the bike there?
I think that's Stuart Pearson. Is that Pearson?
All right, that's enough of that. Get rid of that. Absolutely out of order. Anyway, let's move on quickly. This is by far the biggest event staged so far in relation to the return of fans. Kelly's with Sports Minister Nigel Huddleston for an update on how important today will be in terms of looking forward to the Euros.
What a welcome sight and sound it is, Gary, to see almost 22,000 supporters back inside Wembley Stadium for this showpiece event of the season. Something that we, of course, want to see more of as we gradually ease our way out of lockdown. And Nigel Huddleston has played a key part in getting us to this point. Firstly, Nigel, how do you feel today seeing a crowd of this magnitude inside the stadium?
I mean, it's fantastic. The atmosphere is electric. And this is the biggest event, the biggest sporting event, but actually the biggest event that's happened in the UK for 14 months now, so it's great to have so many people back and you can hear and feel the atmosphere. It's fantastic.
There have been a number of these test events. This is the third and final one here at Wembley Stadium. I know you analyse all the data, but what will constitute success for you here today?
Well, the fact they've even taken place is success because, of course, it's a showcase of the fact that we've had the vaccination rollout. We couldn't have continued with this progress, but these events are really important. I mean, they're great events in and of themselves, but they're also scientific experiments. I mean, we're looking at everything in terms of ventilation, the flow of people, compliance with wearing masks, and also, of course, making sure that people tested beforehand, and we'll be testing most people afterwards as well to see if there's any impact on transmission. So they're really important events that will inform government decision-making going forward.
Of course, all eyes on the Euros. 25% capacity is the target, maybe even more for the knockouts, and maybe full for the final. How realistic is that?
Well, you know, that's the hope. The ambition is that we get fans back, you know, in full stadia as soon as possible. But of course, you know, we have to be careful and keep an eye on the data. We'll certainly be having further programmes and further rollouts as well. So this is the end of phase 1, but we'll be having phase 2. The Euros will be part of that, and looking forward to them. I mean, we want them to be as full as possible, but we have to be cautious in the approach.
Well, Nigel, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the second half. Let's hope for a brilliant summer. But firstly, let's hope for a goal, because I think this place will erupt if we see one.
Yeah, thanks very much, Kelly. Right, revenge. Ian Wright, you sing a bit in your time, didn't you?
No,
Ian?
no singing. No. There's one time I done something. No! Why are you showing this? I'm going. I'm not staying.
You stay there.
Get it off.
It's beautiful.
Oh, yes, righty. Oh, yes.
Players are out.
Players are out.
You're like,
That's fantastic, righty. What number was that in the chart?
It was just below this one, Alan. Actually, just below this one.
The players are definitely here.
That's enough. That's enough.
Terrible. Awful.